Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about atmospheric temperature distribution. Okay, now there is a difference between heat and temperature. Okay, heat means the total energy in a specific phenomena, and temperature is the average intensity of heat. Heat is the energy that makes objects hot. It represents the total kinetic energy of all atoms in a substance. Okay, the more atoms present, the greater the heat. Then, on the other hand, temperature measures the intensity of heat. It represents the average kinetic energy of the atoms. Okay, in heat, total kinetic energy; in temperature, average kinetic energy. A few atoms with rapid motion will have a higher temperature than many atoms with slow motion. Okay, this is the basic difference between heat and temperature. Gain or loss of heat is necessary to raise or lower the temperature. Heat always moves from a body of higher temperature to one of lower temperature. Okay, always move from higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay, now there are five factors controlling Earth's thermostat. That means Earth's temperature. Latitudinal extension. In varying, the temperature is depends between varying latitudinal extension. This latitude, the distance from the equator, and altitude, the height above the sea level, or elevation. Air mass circulation, the movement of large bodies of air. Ocean currents, the presence of warm and cold ocean currents. Then distance from the sea, the influence of land versus water bodies. These are some controlling factors of Earth's atmospheric distribution. Now, horizontal temperature distribution. Okay, the core idea is the distribution of temperature across the latitudes. Okay, across the latitudes over the surface of the Earth is called its horizontal distribution. Okay, these are some lines indicating the horizontal distribution of Earth's surface temperature. Now, on maps, this distribution is shown by isotherms. Isotherms means the lines connecting points that have equal temperature. Okay, iso means equal, therms means temperature. Okay, iso means a Greek word. Iso comes from Greek language. It means equal, and therm means it also comes from a Greek word and means temperature. And isotherm is a line on a map or chart connecting points having the same temperature at a given time or an average over a given period. Okay, this is the line of 10 degrees Celsius isotherm. 20 degrees Celsius isotherm, this is the line. And this is the line of 30 degrees Celsius isotherm. That means all point, this point, this point, this point, all points have 10 degrees Celsius temperature. Similarly, all this point on this line have 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, this line is called as isotherm. Now, with the sun overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn on 21st December, January, shows peak summer temperature in the south and deep winter in the north. Okay, this is due to the extensional distribution of latitude and difference between the latitude, and the temperature varies between north and south pole. Okay, in mid latitude, that is middle latitudes, temperature ranges from 2 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. In Eurasian interior, a vast cold zone with temperature from minus 18 degrees Celsius to minus 48 degrees Celsius. In equatorial oceans, temperatures are over 27 degrees Celsius. In southern hemisphere, maximum the mean temperature reaches about 32 degree over the western Australian desert. Now, an interesting fact is that the mean January temperature along 60 degree east longitude is minus 20 degrees Celsius at both 80 degree north and 50 degree north latitude. Okay, this is an interesting fact. Now, the world in July, temperature in July, the northern hemisphere heats up. Okay, northern hemisphere heats up. That the highlighted portion, this portion, the gray color portion is indicates the high temperature regions. With the sun overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, 21st June, July represents the peak of northern hemisphere summer. Okay, northern hemisphere summer, in southern hemisphere winter. The anomaly is that the lowest temperature of 0 degrees Celsius is found during the summer in the central part of Greenland. Then isotherm shift. The isotherms generally run parallel to latitudes. The 30 degree Celsius isotherm passes between 10 degree to 40 degree north latitude. Then equatorial oceans warmer than 27 degrees Celsius. In hot zones, regions like southwestern USA, the Sahara, Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and desert regions of India and China experience intense heat. Okay, this is the temperature distribution of during July months in northern hemisphere. Okay, now vertical temperature distribution on the Earth across the atmosphere. Okay, the core concept is we now shift our focus from the distribution of temperature across the Earth's surface to how it changes as we move upwards in elevation through the atmosphere. Okay, upward direction from the surface towards the space. Okay, this is a guiding question for your UGC NET exam. What is the fundamental rule governing temperature as altitude increase? Okay, normally temperature decreases with an increased elevation. This is called normal lapse rate. Okay, when we move from the Earth surface towards the space, then normally temperature will decrease with an increased high elevation. Okay, the average rate of temperature decrease upward in the troposphere is approximately 6 degrees Celsius per kilometer. This is also known as the vertical temperature gradient. The normal lapse rate is not always the same. It differs depending upon height, season, latitude, and other local factors. Local factor means the wind, height of the wind, and the location of any kind of mountains, hills, regions, and the geography, topography, rainfall, availability of rainfall, etc. Now, the phenomenon of temperature inversion. Okay, there is a concept known as temperature inversion, the opposite. Okay, that at times the situations are reversed. Okay, it became opposite, and the normal lapse rate is inverted. In a temperature inversion, the temperature increases with increasing height. Okay, and normally what's happened with a increasing height, the temperature will decrease. On the other hand, in this situation, the temperature will increase with a increasing height. Okay, this phenomenon known as temperature inversion. Okay, with increasing height. This is a temporary and often localized phenomena. Okay, this is not permanent. This is temporary and often localized phenomena. That means it happen in certain specific locations, not all over world. Okay, now there is the interesting factor, the cold pole of the Earth. This location recorded the highest annual range of temperature in the world. That means 66 degrees Celsius in Verkhoyansk, located in Siberia, and it has highest annual range of temperature in the world. Highest temperature 66 degrees Celsius, and on the other hand, lowest temperature minus 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is the highest range found in the world in the temperature variations. Okay, for this extreme variation, it is aptly called the cold pole of the Earth. Okay, that's why it's known as cold pole of the Earth. Now there is some difference between horizontal distribution of temperature and vertical distribution of temperature. Okay, horizontal distribution of temperature on the Earth's surface governed by factors like latitude, longitude, land sea distribution, and ocean currents. On the other hand, it visuals using isotherms and characterized by a general decrease in temperature from the equator to the poles, and so significant seasonal shift as seen in January versus July. On the other hand, in vertical journey, that is through altitude, governed primarily by altitude, defined by the normal lapse rate. This is normal lapse rate, that is approximately minus 16 degrees Celsius per kilometer in the troposphere, and the standard pattern can be reversed by temperature inversion. Okay, we will discuss more about this temperature inversion in our next class. This gradient explains why mountain tops are cold. Okay, this phenomena explains why mountain tops are cold. That means temperature inversion. Okay, that's all for today. If you have any doubt and query, just let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Thank you.